What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about why Ratchet and Clank proves we need more PS5 games, / we need Horizon and God of War on the PS5 only. Now, I'm not going to bang that drum too hard. That is something I'm going to throw in there just to kind of make people upset, because I know it's what's going to make people upset. But no, I want to talk about, firstly, Ratchet and Clank. I'm loving the game. I want to gush about it, but I want to gush about why it's so good on PS5. Okay, I want to talk about that and then talk about, why it bugs me so much or annoys me so much that and we've talked about this before, it really is the last PS5 only game. There's a lot of games that are coming out that will be on PS5, but they won't only be on PS5, or the quality probably won't be to a Ratchet and Clank's level, okay? Make sure, if you guys are new here, if you guys like that idea, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turn on, give the video a like. Definitely helps the video out. If you guys want to follow me over on Twitter or any of my other social medias, links for all of them, including Patreon, channel memberships, all that stuff, are in the description below, okay? Would obviously appreciate you guys checking those out if you want to. Okay, so at the time I'm recording this, I've played about 5-6 hours of Ratchet and Clank. By the time you guys see the video, I'll have beaten it. I have no doubt about it, okay? So it's a little odd in that way, but let me tell you, from the time I've played the game, dear Jesus Christ, again, Jesus would be impressed by this because it is incredible. And again, for I guess the purpose of this video, it's not a review. I don't want to break down the story elements and the gameplay and all that stuff. We can do that. If you guys want me to make a review of this game, I'll look into doing that. But talking about the technical side, it's not the most important part of the game. Well, maybe it is. Let's be honest, maybe it is. But, there's obviously more to it than that. But for the purposes of this video, it's more of the technical side. It is outrageous. It's incredible how much, and it's so hard to discuss. Let me say this, and maybe this will be the best way of putting it, okay? To go into the Horizon God of War thing. I know I make people mad when I talk. I get it. I get it. And I know there's reasons people say the things they say to me back about, that they don't have the money, or they can't find the system, or, they want the games to be more accessible, whatever the reason may be, okay? I understand all of that. But what I want to say is this. I've never said those games are going to be bad. In fact, I've said both those games are going to be amazing. I've used that word, okay? I am so looking forward to Horizon. I've loved everything we've seen about it. God of War, obviously, it's a little harder to judge just because we haven't seen it, but I have no doubt that game is going to be amazing too, okay? When I talk about being held back, okay, now there's a difference of opinion there. Some people think that games aren't held back, and even some developers have said some games aren't held back. Some developers say that they are. It literally depends on who you look at, okay? And obviously that's going to impact the game that they're working on. If they don't believe it, then they're going forward, okay? But when I say these things, and this does apply to the video, I want to make it clear, I know these games can be amazing. I think these games will be amazing. And I know it's hard to imagine basically an invisible next level to it. So when I say it's basically the Pedro Pascal, the Max Lord, life is good, but it can be better, right? You guys know that one? It's basically that, but it's like you don't know what it could be. So when I say Horizon could be even better, and it's being held back by being made and they admitted this, by the way, it was made from the ground up on the PS4, for the PS4. Then it was upped for the PS5 afterwards. That, to me, immediately signals, well, obviously, the game's not made for PS5. It will not push the PS5 as much as Ratchet and Clank. I said it a couple weeks ago. I think Ratchet and Clank, in terms of performance, looks, loading, all that kind of stuff, will be better than Horizon, which will come out 6, 7, 8 months afterwards. I think it may even be better than God of War. Simply, again, because it's only on the PS5. So again, to end this thought, and we'll come back to this maybe towards the end of the video, again, they are going to be amazing, and I know it's hard to imagine a next level to it, but that's what I'm talking about when I say, man, I wish these games were only on PS5, because I know that they can do things on PS5 well, actually, it's kind of the reverse. I know there won't be things in the game, okay, simply because it's on both. I know it. And Horizon, or Guerrilla Games, has kind of slowly admitted these things, trying to word it in certain ways, right? But they've slowly admitted this as time has gone on. And I think it's going to be blatantly obvious by the time the game comes out. Again, don't confuse that with, I'm not excited for it, I hate it, I'm a Sony hater. I love PlayStation's my primary console. I cannot wait for Horizon Forbidden West. I'm going to play it the first second that it's available, okay? But I do think it could be better. So, again, what do I mean by that? So what does Ratchet and Clank do? Well, the Rift thing is the biggest thing, all right? The insanity of how well the game performs. They are routinely, now they do it in cutscenes sometimes, but really, there's no, like, they're taking the page out of the Naughty Dog book, right? There really are no cutscenes. There's cutscenes that the camera spins around, and then you're immediately, there's no loading, you're in the game. And obviously, many, many, many games have done their best to adapt that over the last, I'd say, 5 to 6 years. Basically the camera spinning around thing. Naughty Dog was, I think, the first one to do it really, really well, where it kind of like just shook everybody, where it's like, oh my dear God, you are the cutscene. The cutscene happens, the camera spins, and now you're in it. You know what I mean? Now everybody kind of does that. And so Ratchet and Clank does it too, okay? So you have that, but then you have, again, the Rift. The Rift being able to literally just walk into an entirely different, okay, it's like, okay, Crash Bandicoot, when in certain games, how like you'll see like the bubble and it's the world, and Crash will like jump into the world. Imagine that, and imagine you're in Ratchet and Clank and you have an entire world around you that's rendered and all that stuff, and then you see that bubble world and you just walk directly into it, and immediately there is no transition. You're in the new world. You're in it, okay? That's what it can do. And that, I mean, every single time I do it in Ratchet and Clank, I cannot believe how amazing it is, okay? The loading, the looks of it looks like a Pixar movie. Now, there's things like, I'm playing it, I believe, on fidelity mode, okay? So I think, it's 4K, there is ray tracing, and it's incredible, okay? Now, can games do that? Not on PS5. Well, they can't do the ray tracing, but they can push it. Again, I know I'm a broken record. I know I'm repeating the same thing over, but it's really for people that can't get it through their skulls what I'm saying, or they just want to ignore that I'm saying certain things and take what I say out of context. I assume as I get bigger as a channel, it's going to become a real problem for me, but I'm just going to have to deal with it, okay? I know Horizon will look good. Horizon does look good, okay? And I will even throw you this. I'm not saying Horizon needs these features. See, what's interesting about Ratchet and Clank, like, it's not like a tech demo, okay? But you could kind of imagine that it is. And that's not even close to, like, that's not disrespectful. I'm not calling it out for that reason. But you see, I don't know. It's actually really hard to describe. Like, you're seeing all these things, and maybe it's just because I want to label it that. You're seeing all these just amazing features that just are not in other games. And you're like, okay, are they just showing off? Like, did they put that in this game just to show off? I do believe games in the first 1 to 2 years of a new console probably do put things in their game, or do things in general just to show off that they can now do it, okay? Even if it wasn't necessary. But the thing with Ratchet and Clank is, like, yeah, they probably are showing off, but I think it's also a blend of, well, no, it fits the game, like the beginning of the game. It's not really a spoiler, but it's like you're on rails, okay? There's things constantly moving. There's so much going on. You're on like floats moving around, and it's insane. And then they throw in the rifts, and that's when things you start going through the rifts, and you enter like 5 worlds, just bam, 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 bam. And again, everything's loading immediately, okay? Now, is that a tech demo kind of purpose? Maybe, but like, did they make Rift apart? The fact that it's rifts and multi-dimensions, all that stuff, did they do that just because they knew they could load in worlds so fast on the PS5? Maybe, but they incorporated it beautifully into the game, okay? So, I guess, again, so like, throw you that bone, I'm not saying Horizon is even, like, Horizon may not even use that if they made it only on PS5, those kind of features that are in Ratchet and Clank, they may not even be in Horizon. So you could say, well, why is it necessary that it's on PS5? It's just the whole package deal. Again, it's hard, but not even just Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank is probably, especially I would say maybe performance-wise, the best PS5 game. Like, only PS5 game. But you honestly look at Returnal and Demon's Souls, the other big two. Technically Destruction All-Stars, but look at those big two, okay? All 3 of them combined are literally on a next level. Now, also, don't twist my words. I'm not saying Ratchet and Clank is the greatest thing ever created. Just because it runs well, just because it looks good, just because all that kind of loading stuff doesn't mean it's like a masterpiece. Now, it is a really, really good game. Like, the game backs it up. But just because you have those things doesn't immediately mean you have a good game. Let me make that clear. But they are on, technically, literally, like technical-wise, they're on a different level. There is no other game And honestly, I would even throw in Xbox, because Xbox Series X and S, they've had nothing besides the Medium, which was also on PC. They do not have anything that can match it. And to be quite honest with you, I don't really talk about much, but how I always complain about PlayStation with this stuff, Microsoft, I would argue, is even worse. Halo Infinite needs to run on every Xbox console that's come out the past 8 years, and their strategy is to do that for years going forward. There may never be a time where they abandon Xbox One. Think about how bad that would hold back a game. Think about all the rumors we've heard about Halo Infinite probably not going to look all that good. Probably not going to run all that well. What's because they have to make it work on Xbox? So it is the same. Like, I don't pick on them, but that's just because they haven't had any games come out yet. Once they do have games, I will be picking on them too. And again, it's not because I hate Microsoft or hate Xbox. No, I will play Halo Infinite. I cannot wait. But this is just... it's just an issue. It's an issue to me. It's not really a broken record, because I do think I'm doing it in a different context here, right, with Ratchet and Clank. Every time, Demon Souls, Returnal, now Ratchet and Clank, all three of these games are truly on, technically, not in terms of, oh, the game is just so otherworldly. Technically, it's on just a different level. And no other game on consoles, maybe obviously high-end PCs and stuff, but I'm not talking about that. Just last gen Xbox, PlayStation, current gen Xbox, PlayStation. That's what I'm talking about. It's incredible how much of a difference there is. So yes, will Horizon be a Game of the Year contender? Yeah, or hopefully. I mean, obviously all these things are hopeful. Hopefully it will be. But, I mean, it's just... technically wise, it's not going to reach Ratchet and Clank. And now, again, maybe it's a better game. Maybe I play Horizon and I say, you know what? I love the game. Aloy, it's a better story. The gameplay has a better hook. All these things. I may like Horizon more. But you can do all that and make it only on PS5. You know what I mean? Same thing with God of War. Of course it's going to be amazing. But you could do all that and then add in those technical achievements that you cannot reach by being on PS4. Okay? And, again... final thing, just I guess for clarification, like, yes, I get they're also on PS5, but it's very clear that a game that's on both, even Sony first-party games that are on both, we know they're going to be upped for PS5, but they, I promise you, will not reach the level of technical performance that games only on PS... that's, again, Bluepoint with Demon Souls, Returnal from Housemarque, right, and Ratchet and Clank from Insomniac, they will not reach that, because they just... and I don't blame them. They just can't, because you can't do two things at once, right? And they have to make it on PS4 first. That's literally how Horizon was. That is what they did with Horizon. See, some people think I just make this stuff up, or I lie. They admitted it. The game was built from the ground up. In fact, Colin Moriarty, when he talks, he knows his stuff. He even said that for a long time, they only thought it was going to be on PS4, and then they made that jump. Gran Turismo actually was the same thing, okay? So I could go on for hours. Long video. I'm sorry. I'll leave it here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you know all these videos go up. Give it a like. There'll be dislikes. That's engagement too, so the haters are also actually helping me in a weird sense, okay? Thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.